Hey guys, how you doing? Alright, let's do this thing. And we're gonna try to go H, maybe H4 next. Yeah, H4. We got him. We're gonna pick up a pawn piece here. He's got two pieces that are hanging here and there, so he's gonna be losing something here coming pretty soon. Everything is hanging. Now this is hanging. This bishop's hanging. Potentially this knight, this rook will be hanging. Boom. Why not one more? Let's do one more because that's the only fair thing. Then after this is my last one. Then we get on to our tactics. So he's doing the exchange. We got him here and there. Trying to see if I can't eyeball this pawn on c3. Because he's going to have to play like knight here to guard this rook. And by doing that I'll play check and I'll pick up this. Oh, so he takes, okay. Boom. Yeah, he's gonna lose this here. I want to see which piece to take with though. Which piece does it say to take with, the rook or the knight? Probably the rook. Yeah. Probably back. Yeah, I like this move. First of all, you grab that. Then you go there. You come back. And if he grabs that, take there. Comes there. You go. You come over here. Yeah, we'll hold then. They're probably up. Yeah. And if he gets it going. And then now we have the whole house falling apart. Okay. That was good, guys. Good job. Okay, let's get on to this now. Okay, dokie. Let's do it to it. Okay, d4, the Dutch. This is this Dutch Stonewall, guys. And we'll get to the move d5. Okay, here, black meets the London with the Stonewall Dutch. So there's c4. This is kind of how you have to play. You got to attack. If they try to attack in the center, you attack on the wing. So c4 makes sense. Boom, c4. He plays bishop d6, which is a very bad move. You don't, in the Stonewall Dutch, you do not want to trade off your dark square bishop. This bishop is your life source, because if you notice, the majority of the pawns are on light squares, so that makes this bishop bad, the light square bishop. So the proper way to play is bishop to e7, knight c3, castle kingside, h3, just in case he thinks about kind of tickling our bishop with knight to h5. We'll just retreat the bishop back then to h2. So c6, queen to c2. This allows for castling queenside potential, and because he's got a lot of expansion on the king side, and his king is pretty vulnerable at this, not too vulnerable, but we can take advantage of it. Let's just say that. Okay, g4, and that gets an exclam mark, because we're hammering right away at his center and his king side. We're not giving him a chance to breathe. He goes knight d7, trying to get his pieces coordinated for an attack. We're like, okay, G, wham, there you go. And then he goes E takes F, and then we go rook to G1. Now we got some attack, baby, going. Yeah, you gotta love that when you're the one that's attacking. So the king moves to get out of this pin. We castle queenside, and it's our turn now. We're ready for the fight. Okay, so bishop or knight d6. Okay, so he goes knight and we go knight e5. And this is where the game stopped. Let's see if there's a let's see if the game continues, because this supposedly came from a game. Let me see if this is the game. Yep. We'll just play it out and end up becoming a draw. That's kind of why he's stopped. Alright. Takes. Then we just keep moving. See how he's white's building up for the attack. Takes, bishop takes, we intercept. So black's kind of vulnerable. I mean, white's vulnerable here. So I really don't know if I like that position. 2,500 level players. They should have taken here. She takes is okay. This D takes, and then we push because we're trying to get our bishop activated. Now we're pushing that one. There we go. Now we're ready for our other push. This also stops the so if he takes here, we come here and these two pawns are protected. So if you guys are wondering what that move did. Wow, this is yeah, he's trying to get a mate, see if we can get a check in here. That's why the rook kept checking, because if it allowed this rook to slip in here, we get mate. So that's why check. So okay, dokie. Let's see, do we have everything? Yes, we do. Good. Okay. This would set up a pretty good kingside attack and neutralizing our idea to end up a draw. Oops, wait a second. There's E5 is a potential idea here. It's interesting, but there's a grandmaster named Miladinovic. He's like he truly loves games that get all muddled, and he can navigate his way through. Basically, when people get stuck in the mud with ideas, he knows how to navigate right on through the mud. He's got a 4x4 truck of a mind. And so this was one of his ideas. Rather than knight to e5, an idea from him was knight c3 exclam, because we're preparing for development. Also, we have a check. We have a lot of attack. So c6 to cement his d5. Also, this creates the final. There's one more move you'd have to have for the stone wall. It'd be g6, but usually that's not played because of the weakening of the structure. So this is the stone wall setup. The whole goal is based on who can, if white can get e5 under his control and black can get e4 under his control, whoever can do that wins. It's basically over these two squares. So d3, bishop takes the f, e takes. Now the reason he let that happen was he now can implant a knight here and it's protected twice. So remember what we said, this is a vital square for white to control. So he has two pawns protecting it. So castles, white castle kingside, not queenside this time, knight bd2, because of the black would have just too fast of an attack coming down the pike, and we don't want that happening. So c5, that shuts everything down. Okay, these are white enjoys some clear strategic advantages here. One, in this setup, he has a powerful grip on e5. Remember we talked about e5. Two, black has a terrible bishop. Remember, light square bishop, almost all the pawns set for 2 are on light squares. 3, the e pawn is backwards, so this pawn is an easy target to bring a rook to an attack. 4, white has a no-brain plan of pawn advancing on the queen side, so basically white has an idea of a queen side expansion. So let's go over it again. He's got that. Black has a, we'll start from the beginning. White has control of e5 powerfully. Black has a bad bishop. The e6 pawn is vital because bad because it's backwards, and white has the ability for a queenside expansion without having to even think about it. It's going to happen. Okay, now that's if this move sequence was played, but it wasn't. Black played there and white played on e5, knight e5. c6, knight c3, castle kingside, bishop d3. This is because he knows eventually the knight's going to try to jump in, and he wants to maybe trade off the knight for the bishop, because in a closed position, knights, you guys all already know, knights are best in the closed position. So he drops the knight in, and white goes h4. White is basically, this shows to black that white's in the mood for a strategic battle. So basically it comes down to strategy at this point. So let's continue onward. So knight to d7, because remember, black wants to challenge the knight if he can, because the whole point of the Dutch defense Stonewall are these 2 points, this one for white and that one for black. I know I already said that already again, but you just sometimes have to keep that constantly in your mind. What's his idea, what's his plan, what's the setup for that opening. And if you can kind of learn the patterns in that, you'll be able to predict what your opponent's going to play around, and then you can counter that and then go for the takedown. Okay, so there's a this is actually, taking's the best, but your opponent may play this on you if they are not, you know, fundamentally ready in the Dutch Stonewall. They might just take this way, and that's an actual mistake. It'll be met by G6 exclam, because you're threatening a rook and you're threatening to pick up the bishop. So if pawn takes, this didn't happen though in the line. If pawn takes, then you take there, he comes up, and now black's pawns are fractured. So what was actually played was rook to f6, bishop takes, rook takes g, and bishop g3 with an uncontested domination of the dark squares. There's a potential idea, rather than, let's see here, you wouldn't want to do this. Let me see here. Hold on. What am I? So takes. Oh, knight takes. Knight. Oh, right. Knight takes c6 is a blunder for. That's right. Had to remember that line. Knight takes c6 is a blunder because of bishop to f6 exclam, which turns the tables on white, because if he tries to do that, takes, and if takes, wham, you got mate. So black's threatening mate, the knight's hanging, so not good one bit. So knight takes, and then we take back. Knight takes, bishop takes d5, e takes d5, d takes, let's see, d takes e5, and c takes, and now we play the really sweet queen to b6 or d6. This pins the knight, keeps the rook on the back rank, because if the rook ever moved out the back rank, we have the ability of pushing. Like if the rook comes up here, we can actually push here, and the queen's pinned. The knight can't move because boom. So this actually locks the knight to the queen like a key lock that can't, a combination you can't open. Would not be fun. Okay, let's take a scope here. We're gonna check. There's three things that white has that black doesn't, and we're gonna go over them right now. The center is scramble is basically fought over, and if you notice, all the pawns are like all over the place, so it's kind of like a muddled center. But black has a lead in. White has a lead in development. His pawns on e3 and e5 have a majority, and they cramp black's king side. He's got a huge majority on the king side. And 3 is dark squared bishop controls. It controls all of. It outweighs this bishop for black. Black's light square bishop isn't as powerful as white's dark square bishop. There's more power. It's yes, it is opposite colored bishops, but even though some would say it would potentially be a draw, if you can make your opposite colored bishop better than your opponent's, it'll outweigh the potential for a draw. Okay, dokie. So knight to b6, castle queenside, because he wanted to have trade-off. So we're like, we want to trade on our terms, and he does. So we take. Now we have a rook. We control the open file, and we basically, we don't want. You could have, rather than did that, you could have connected the pawns, but the problem is you would lose the open file, and the knight could actually jump back in here, and so you do not want to do that. This would, in my opinion, be a question mark. I think it'd be a mistake. It doesn't say it's a mistake, but in my opinion it would be at this point. You want to keep that open because you want, that's at this moment the only full open file, and you want to dominate that open file. So he's attacking the pawn. Now we double up, so we're in full control of it. Bishop to e6, and then e4. White gives up control of d5 to activate his, and basically his knight. We give control over actually we take control of d5. I think that's what he meant. I think what he's thinking is that there, like something like that. Boom, boom. Yeah. Okay, so f takes, knight takes, and now we have a really good spot for the our knight. It's sweet. d5, h. That knight on d5 attacked our bishop, so we had to move it. Bishop to went to h2, and now his bishop went to f5. We bring our rook up to protect the knight, so that if he takes, we can take back. He plays a dubious move, which is b5. I can't believe he surrendered this. You don't want to surrender c5 to your opponent, and he allowed the c5 to be dominated. Better would have been bishop takes knight. Bishop takes knight. Rook takes c3, not c3, not c5, wrong pawn. c3 was this was a better choice, because potentially if white takes, he's fractured his king structure, and so he's got to be careful with that. But he plays b5 and surrenders any hope of c5 being contested anymore. So white just says thank you very much and jumps his knight right into c5. Now there's a pawn push that may come about, and it'll be protected by the knight at this point, and there won't be anything to contest this knight on c5. So it's like king of the c5 square at this moment. It's king of the hill on that pawn. h5, king d2 to activate the king, because you know what, when everything's ready, you have to activate your king. The knight also guards. This would be the only square that the knight can go to, but it wouldn't be that good, because white can just kick it out with a3, and that actually just helps white. So ac8 to guard the pawn, a3 to stop the knight from infiltrating in, a5, f3. This is preparing to undermine the kingside structure, and white finally played an exclam move. Black finally played an exclam move, b4. Black is trying to passively defend his structure with trying to double up and cause a weakness on b2. So a takes, rook takes, so we take the pawn. We're up, let's see, he's got 4, we have 5, so we're up 1 pawn here. a8, and then g4, which is, having played, we played, the author of the book actually played this out, a game similar to his, the g4 push. But he says that better would have been actually knight to d3. This is actually much better. It's a solider move sequence. You'd think, wait a second, aren't you surrendering the your knight for the bishop? In theory, yes. But you have to remember that it's interesting, because you win a pawn, and if he takes here, you can take back, and then he'll take, and you can bring your rook in down. So this takes, d takes, king takes, then we take, like what we said, e6, exclaim. Whose pawn's gonna queen first? Basically, that's the idea. Rook takes, wham. Rook c8. Rook takes c8, rook takes c8, check, king h7, and bishop to d6 with, and we're going to win a knight. And then we get to say to the knight, good night, knight. And it becomes our piece, our prisoner. Till the next game, when then we let it back and we do it over again. So f4. So g takes, and if you're wondering why can't the bishop take g4, the rook guards g4, so the bishop has to retreat back to h7. Otherwise, what would happen if it retreated to g6? We would have h5, and we don't want to play h5. It helps like this here. If we moved here, and that he played, now you get these pawns are rolling. You don't want that. So he just decided h7 it is, and away we go. Let's see, so e6. f8, bishop g1, which is a dubious move. He can, with great attack and potential for basically harassing the pieces, which means attacking them and causing them to move and move around. We can use our bishop better by leaving it on h2 and actually playing king to e2. This holds these two squares, the king does, and we're ready for KO. If he plays, come on, don't lag me now. Rook a2, we could play bishop to e5. Now we guard, and we're attacking. Potentially we can come over like that. So so he's using a pin to check our king. Rook takes, exclaim. Takes check, king e4, b takes the rook, and then we have the crushing d7, and then there's really no way to stop that. This gets an exclam mark, because there's no way to stop. If he tries pushing, you can actually, he'll have to move there. And you get mate. So he can't really even do C. He can't do C2. This threatens mate in 3. So in theory, he's going to have to give his rook back. Have to give the rook back. But that doesn't save him either, because you can then just take it with the rook and have close to the same setup. Like, yeah. But he missed that and played bishop g1. Sometimes you miss those small, subtle changes in the position. So rook to a1, bishop d4, rook h1, knight e4. This is a very vital move as well. It prepares to get your knight now involved here into the fight as well. So we're trying to mobilize all of our pieces. That's the name of the game. If he there's also another line that he could play there, and then now we could play knight f2 if he checks, which is exclam. F takes f2, bishop takes bishop takes, rook takes, and then king e1 exclam, because now we're attacking. We're not on any checking. He can't check us anywhere. We're attacking his rook. So rook to f8 happened. What happened? And then c takes. Oops. What did I miss here? c6. Okay. Is winning for white. The e pawn is too powerful and bound to actually end up queening. So he'll have to sack the knight for it, and we'll be up on an exchange and a pawn. So 3 pawns. There's also a slight, if he goes a little overboard and plays, let me see, let's see, if he plays rook takes b2, that's actually a clear blunder, because that'll be met with d8, and it's mate. That wins on the spot. So we play there. He takes the pawn, forced. a5. He moves the rook back to h3. We're attacking. If we play here, he can actually take. So, well, I think he could take at this point with the bishop because of here, then reroute the bishop to guard as the pawn walked down the board. So he tried rook h2, knight just retreats back, exclam, rook to g2, and then we just take, and we're winning here. Black actually resigned here, surprisingly, but the move potential could go bishop to e4, rook d7, knight f6, cc, and knight takes d4, e takes d4, bishop to f3, and then c5. And how does black stop white from queening? There's no good way to stop rook takes, and then when the king takes back, queens. Even if he picks up even if he picks this up here, we can just come up here, and what does he do now? How does he stop it? If he takes here it ends up becoming a queen, so there's really nothing that he can do. It's all over at this point after rook to c1, c8. Yep. Okay, let's see. Let's go back with our summary, and we'll take a look at our overview of what we learned. You sometimes you can castle, and if you're facing a stone wall, so if you castle, like we castled, he castled, and then when do we castle? We castle queenside. We can actually sometimes just fling our pawns up the board crazily and you know, win. If you know what you're doing and you know the patterns, you can really get a good attack. So sometimes you can castle queenside, sometimes you can castle kingside. It depends on how far the pawns are advanced, and if you can, as a player, stop the onslaught. With this setup here, how many pawns white has on the king side, we don't want to castle king side because we want to use these as kind of like battering rams to bust down the castle door or gate. We want to just keep sending in our battering rams till the gate falls and we smash it down. So that's the end. There was really no threat this knight on b6 stops b5, a5, and the pawn onslaught coming down the board. Okay, so with that we'll get on to our puzzles now, and I will leave this with you. I'll be right back. So take a look at this and put in what you guys think the moves might be, and we'll go over them. Just one sec. do it to it. Alright, so he played b7 to b5. Yummy tea. Alright, let's have some tea. That's good. Okay. Trying to see if potentially a rook takes. The idea I'm seeing is a rook R takes, hold on, R takes E5, and if rook takes E5, we're going to play queen takes D3. So if we take here, he takes there, we'll take here, and he might try taking there, but if we do that, we can just take the pawn. Okie Actually, he can't take the pawn because of the knight guards it, so I was all completely wrong on that. So if we take here, here, oops, here, 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 that's impossible because of that. So he'd probably take with we'd get two pieces for the pawn. Thinking that's potentially it. Oh. Interesting, so that was not good. I missed that. The rook's almost pinned. I should have seen that. Okay, we'll try it again. Trying to figure out if we can't play rook to f2. And queen might try coming in here, are maybe here or there, these two. But if he does, we then could take there and we're attacking the queen. So queen's almost trapped. Almost. Trying to see, is there anything better than we can play? Don't really see anything. I'm just constantly looking to see. If you guys see anything, type in and chime in, and we'll go over it. Is there anything else besides rook to f2 in that line? I don't really see anything better, so let's go with it. You're kidding me. What am I? Why doesn't this work? We have an attack here, and we just move. If he brings his rook down, we just come up, and we got that under fire. Let's try that again. We're gonna make sure we get this one right. Okay, we got that one right. Should have seen the double attack. That was a straightforward one. Let's take a quick breather. Let's give him a volley. and then play here. I'm going to be threatening mate. If he takes here, then I'll take, and then I could threaten mate there. Or potentially threaten mate. We got him there. See if we play here. Takes there. Yeah, let's go for it. I got him. He's got to stay calm here. Let's pick off that pawn. Why give him any room? And then I'll just come back up here and do it. Okay, I'll face him one more time. And then we're gonna, alright, so I place there. Exactly. I agree with you, Fox, on that. Too many weaknesses. I have that under fire, that's under fire, that's protected. Yeah, it's almost over here. close to over. Boom. Oh, that was a bad move. Yikes. Yeah, I made a blunder here. This right here. Slight blunder. Right here. When I moved here, that was a mistake. This would have actually been a better move, because it guards here. So even if he takes, I'll push there, and if he goes there, I'll just reroute my my rook, my knight in, my bishop in, I mean. What's this? Okay, well done. Wow, nice. Okay, so who's who? Fox, who is Johnny? Okay, Johnny's white, gotcha. A4, C5, knight C3, D6, okay. Interesting. Kind of resembles a little bit of the London, but the bishop ain't here right now, and the knight isn't there. So, wow, G4. That's a crazy. This is a crazy opening. Surprised he didn't. Oops. Surprised he didn't take here. I think white wants to keep the availability of castling as well. So. The knight's protecting. King up. And I like this. This is a fun game. A really fun game. Oh wow, gotta be careful. There's a fork. There's a friendly fork coming. G5, okay. There we go. So H4. Now the bishop's cemented. Now we're actually eyeballing, as Yazur and Morisashi would say, the F5 pawn. So he has to push. We takes, and then knight to E4 is super duper strong. potentially getting ready for a the king. Yeah, we have to get the king involved here. So if this bishop takes, knight takes, now we're attacking the rook. So he might try doubling up there. Well, then we can bring our king involved. And then we can reroute a knight there, potentially. You gotta love it. King to g4, g6, rook h3, c4, rook h1, h8. Oh, right, push right on through. Right on. Loving that. Knight takes, pawn takes. Surprised black's not more aggressive. He's just letting white walk all over him. Black is. If he takes here, we're going to take back, and then we have a majority on the queen side. Like this. Now we have a majority on the queen side. Now if he takes here, wow. Man, I think he's trying to get the opponent into Zugzwang. That type of setup. Get the king involved, d5. Get the king involved. Oh, he's eyeballing. Okay. Oh yeah, you can't because the knight's pinned. That's right. So the knight's coming. So we'll just grab that pawn. Thank you very much. Grab another pawn. Thank you very much. Now we're protected. He can't attack this. He's four moves away from even putting an attack there. And it's good for white to win. This is over. Totally over. There's nothing that he really could do. White's won this game. Because if he tries to escape via there, we could just bring our rook up. We just play there. If he plays here, we can just bring our king up. If he tries that, we just take. Well, no, we can't do that. We'll lose a rook. So we just do a fork, and it's all over. Oh, we could just take. What the? Just take. Okay, you have your own game. Okay, dokie. Let's take a look at that. Hold on. Okay. Perfect. You're black, okay. A4, B6, knight F3, knight E6, E5. Let's see, bishop to B7. This guy is cool. It's like reminds me of a sniper. Queen to F3. Wow, this is interesting. It's kind of like, I'm gonna attack you now. I'm gonna checkmate you. And of course, oh, you do there. Okay. Oh, because you picked up a pawn. That is true. You get a pawn in that line. But I wanted to see, is better or knight there? Is knight better there? Yeah. I was thinking that knight might actually have been a better move. And then potentially maybe d5. Oh, bishop coming out. I kicked the knight out. So bishop out here. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. You don't really want to if you don't have to trade your queens. You did pick up a pawn, so in the end it did cost him a pawn, so he had to. And his pawns are fractured. Wow. Nice, nice, nice. You have all the pawns on white light squares, which makes this bishop very unattractive, and this bishop's horrible too. Now we got it. Yeah, there. Gotta bring in our knight potentially here, here. Wow, you're shutting him out. So you picked up 2 pawns. Now you're coming in, crashing in. Yeah, he can't take. I like that tactic. If he takes here, he has to move up. Then you grab the rook. Gotta love that. You're up in exchange in that line. Great job there. That was a sweet tactic. Now that's protected. Yeah, you're gonna implant a knight here, which is really nice. Really nice. He might try. Oh, you retreat his bishop back. That's different, to say the least. Yeah, that's the only sitch in that thing. Let's see, takes. Okay, takes. I think you lose your advantage if you trade. Yeah. Wow, it's got kind of a cylinder building happening. I don't know, I might have played here, then tried to get this opened. Like if Then if he tries something like this, I try there, takes. And if he has something like that, then I can come in, or I actually just play there. If he takes, I take, and now you're coming up the board. You always have to look for points of entry. That's not bad either. You know, you could play that, right? This formation is called the Grand Master formation. And what happens if he tries to undermine that structure, you just bring a rook over, and if he tries that, you just take. So you're good. Remember this pawn right here supports both these. Don't forget to push that, because what'll happen is it'll weaken these 2 points, but this can be easily protected. Surprised. This works too. That works too. Takes. Wow, you're just eating him alive. Yeah. The only move he's got is that. You're right. That idea does work good too. I'm just always thinking of how to better support. I'm more reacting to his threat. You're actually making a threat yourself. So this is actually better now that we look at it. This is more solid if you want to keep your. This allows him kind of though to react. You're reacting to his threat, so we don't want to do that. We got to remember, Aikido principle is you don't react to your opponent's threat. You are the one, like Hannibal Smith. If we're not the one that's dictating the outcome of the battle, we're reacting to our opponent. And we have to, like in the Knights of South Bronx, we have to think at least that is true. And it's just yours is more forcing. And I like this. I like the more aggressive stance of this here. It kind of pushes you're pushing the mood of the battle. You're the one that's pushing at that point, and the opponent, like, he'd have to come over there, and maybe you can push at that point or push up. You know, if you're more of a positional player like Yaz, this would be more to your style. It's not, like what you're saying, it's not really reactive, because this holds and you can later on build up to an attack. So it all depends on what type of chess player you are. If he comes down and plays here, you come over, you're still attacking this pawn. And if he tries doubling here, you just come up and grab it. If he tries here, then what you do is you can come up and push. If he comes down here, you just double up your rooks. And so now you're defending twice. And if he tries that, you take there, he takes. He has a little trick there. So you kind of got to be a little bit kind of more, you know, structurally sound. This is a better way of doing it. That way just leads to a tactic, and we don't want to give him a pawn. Now there's nothing he can do, so he's going to have to go, oh no, got to redo all my pieces. Then we just start our push. And now it's our turn to push the sitch. Then we come in. Now we control. If he comes over here, we can just start pushing the pawn up. If he takes, we just move over. If He tries checking, we move up. Now we get this type of outstanding attack happening. And we can just bring a rook over too. So a good game. That was a great game. You didn't let your opponent breathe once. You kind of got to be like a boa constrictor in a closed position. Every time they think that they're gonna get a breath, you squeeze, and then eventually they end up perishing. So well played game. One second, what was I gonna do? Oh, okay, gotcha. Just wanted to check, had to make sure my stream was okay. Kind of a little laggy today. That's odd. It's usually not that laggy. This is tea, really good peach tea, yummy. You know what? When you have some good peach tea, it's like, yeah, happy day. Okay, so we'll do some puzzles. Yeah, I kind of got two back-to-back wrong. I miscalculated. First of all, I didn't see that if I retreated back, I would be more victorious, and I kind of tried to push it when there was no attack. So we gotta get our rating built up. Hold on, let me see something. Okay, perfect. Okay, dokie. Let's do a couple of these, and then I gotta log. Let's see here. I'm thinking, what do you think? Should we do like what economy says, take the material? Fuck, should we do like economy, take the material, rook takes bishop? What do you think? Rook takes a8. Rook takes a1, I mean. What do you think? Ooh, interesting. That's kind of what I was a little concerned of. So if we take, so rook takes b4, right? Trying to see if we can't, if that doesn't work. I believe that idea is pretty dominating. I like it. Because you're exactly right. If we take, he's going to go b4, and then if we try to get the other rook, involved, he's going to go there, and I don't know if we have enough time to stop it. So here, queen a4 or a5. Rook takes the bishop. A to b1. Our rook takes, and then potentially we have queen to a2, and we'd be up a whole piece at that point. What do you think? Rook ac1. Okay, then let's try that. So copy. Okay, c8, gotcha. I like that. This allows for that. And then if you try it here, yeah. Good find on knight takes b4 fox. Good job, guys. Oh, you want to take a look at that? Gotcha. Will do. Oh, it's a draw. It's a draw at this point. So b7. So knight h7. Alright. 1 sec, let me check something out. Make sure our streaming is good. Good. Okay, perfect. I think I could do at least this one. I don't know if I could do another one, but we'll do one more. This one here. It all depends on how long it takes. Yeah, I wanna get this moving, but the only problem with doing this move is he's got to check. When we move up, he can move back and block our checking idea here. But if we check right away, he can then run, and we don't have that. But we might have. That's what I was thinking, but I think he could push. See, if we play here, he plays up, he may be able to push there. Oh, no, we checkmate him, that's right. Oh. Okay. That's a sneaky move. We don't like that, do we? No, we don't. Oh boy. I think we have to push. I think G5 has to be the move. Check. I think that's the only way that's the only way to get material ahead. What is it? And what do you guys think? G5, if bishop, sorry, G5, if bishop takes, we take. Nope, sorry. He comes forward, takes, we take. And then we bring our rook over to attack this pawn here. Because then if he takes here, actually I'm sorry, if he takes here, we then come right. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking right here. If he takes, we can actually grab the pawn there. It comes up. Now the pawn starts walking. The pawn starts walking, and then now we get our king involved, and we should win this. Pretty straightforward. We'll do one more, guys. One more. That was a pretty efficiently timed one. Good job on that, Chess and Fox. Oh, that's some good tea. I don't know if that works. Let's see here. If we, oops. If we take here, he'll take here. We'll take, come on, work with me. We'll take, king will take. Oh, nice. Yeah. And then after he takes there. Uh-oh. That's kind of awkward. Well, we'll end here though. That was a perfect. That was actually good. Let's see here. I think it's because of this move here. And then there's no more. Well, we'll try one more because that one we got to end on a positive. We got to end on a win. So let's do this thing. Sorry about going too fast if I did. The line is this, we'll do really quick. If we play here, takes there, we move over, it comes back, we take. And the problem, the problem with this is there. If he takes here, we take there, it comes up, and then he grabs that, and that's the move problem. I didn't see it till it was too late. That was my fault there. I missed that. I went too fast, so I gotta slow down. Okay, dokie. So F4 pawn push. Yeah, that does pick up a piece, doesn't it? Yeah, that picks up a bishop. Let me see. So F4. Yeah, F4. What do we? What's his counter to that, though? I really don't see. Do you see any good counter to that? Fox, do you see any good counter to what Chess said? Do we have enough compensation for that, though? Is it worth F4? I would say potentially it's worth F4, yeah. Yeah. I like f4. Now we have to decide which we can't take with this rook. Of course, you guys see why. That'd be a sad blunder, because then he could come down here and fork our two pieces. So the only rook that we could take with that there wouldn't be a fork would actually be this rook here. Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, if we did this, it'd be so sad. Wham! Right there. And all of our hard effort would be gone in one wrong move. Okay, do you guys have any questions on this before I log off? Any questions on this puzzle? What are the questions on this puzzle? What is your question? Let's see, is that, let me see which one that is. Ah, there we go. I think that's 91,000. Yeah, are you good now? Do you have any other questions? Okay, perfect. Well, guys, you know what? We ended up out of 5. We got 3, so that's good. We're getting better. You know what? They ding us a little bit with points, but you know what? That's the name of the game. You get it wrong, you kind of got to have the consequences for that. But we're getting stronger. We're learning. We're progressing really nicely. You guys are doing great. You're seeing all those subtle moves, and Fox, your games. I like the game. Thank you for the game. That was great. Those 2 games were very, very informative on learning. Patience and perseverance. Don't stop. Keep pushing forward. And remember that, you know what? As they say, fear's for the other guy. And we have to be strong in the time of trial. Like when in Helm's Deep, not Helm's Deep, but that too, but Minas Tirith, when the army looked out over the walls and saw that horde army just coming after them, they had to stand strong and have faith that they can do it. And we know we can. So, you know what? We just got to keep pushing forward, relying on the Lord for sure, mainly. And like Hannibal Smith said, how you play Fox, by you pushing the situation, that you're working Aikido, and that's the name of the game. That's how you get better. You have to be the one to push. And you know what? Like Bruce Lee, we're knowing is not enough. We must apply. So you have to be able to apply what you know. That's the whole thing. Willing is not enough. You must do. You can will to do something, but if you don't actually sit down and do it, like the story of a person who takes off their coat, takes off their hat, and sits down at the table, and the thing that many say can't be done, that person did. We're that person, and we can do it. So, you know what? I believe in you guys. I know you guys can keep pushing forward, and so I'll leave you with that. and also keep Hawaii in your prayers and thoughts about them, safety, that nobody's hurt over there. Okay, I'll leave you with this. As West. Oh, wait, I gotta say, there's a three-way tie tomorrow, St. Louis. So I don't know who's playing yet. I didn't get to see the end. So it's gonna be really good. Okay, so if you guys want to tune in and see a playoff, tomorrow's the day. Okay, as what so says through the Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless. And I'll see you guys next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening. And Lord willing, guys, I'll be back on tomorrow, and we'll continue to do our studies, our puzzles, and games. And if you guys have games, bring them. More the merrier. We're going to go over them and improve. You guys are doing great. Congrats. And remember, keep pushing forward. Hurrah. Bye-bye, guys.